Fuck, man.
Live from Kentucky and Louisiana, two Marines, one mission. This is Sense and Senseless. From the hills to the bayou, stories collide. Brothers in arms, now we're side by side. Sense and senseless, we cut through the noise. Two Southern Marines with that rebel voice. Grab a seat, pour a drink, let's make some sense. Or none at all, it just depends. Sense and senseless.
All right. Welcome back to Sense and Senseless. I'm Bryan.
It's McGee.
Yeah, he's Jason. Tonight we'll be discussing, of course, Epstein. Everyone has talked about Epstein. I mean, who's not talking about this shit, right? We'll also discuss why you shouldn't trust politicians in the mainstream media, how our money gets lost, quote, lost by our government, yet they want more from us. Yet our Defense Department can't pass a damn audit. Yeah, it's stolen, but I'm just calling it lost tonight, Jason, because that's how they say it. But first, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. So
Super
let
Bowl?
me let me go with my little
Super Bowl.
rant real quick, because Monday,
All right.
everybody, all over social media was going back and forth, and it's kind of really pissed me off because it just, this is the epitome of why we so divided. I mean, we're divided over a fucking Super Bowl halftime show, and Monday everyone was fighting over the Super Bowl halftime show, and it didn't make any sense because we all had a choice on what we wanted to watch, but we were mad if someone else watched what they didn't watch. And it was just stupid. I mean, everyone needs to realize that we're all being played, point blank. I seen it where both sides were saying, these snowflakes or these Nazis, they can't handle this. I mean, we brought politics into the Super Bowl halftime show. Think about that. Yeah. And everyone wants to pick a side, but what they can't understand in the grand scheme of things, we're all in the same fucking boat, And this fucking boat is sinking. And all we're going to do is sit there and argue with each other instead of bailing the fucking boat out. It makes no sense. And you think you did this for who? You think that you did this for you? I mean, they didn't do the Super Bowl halftime for anybody but money. They set out a hook, you bid it, and they got all the money from it. Think about it. The NFL owns its fans. They do. If you stayed during the Colin Kaepernick era and through the end of the racist era, through the end racist era, remember when they had the end racists and the fucking end zones and shit? If you stayed through that shit, the NFL knows you're not going anywhere. The NFL wants to grow its international market. I mean, that is key for them. We see it every year. It seems like they put more and more games overseas. And to me, that's a fuck you to the fans. The fans in the United States built the NFL. But the NFL's not satisfied. They need more, because you can't ever feel greed. Greed's insatiable. And the NFL knew that there would be some backlash, but they also knew the fans would tune back into the game when the halftime was over. I mean, the overall goal had nothing to do with you. It was to get all the Bad Bunny fans to tune in into the halftime show and hope that they watch and enjoy some of the game. So maybe they can bring in more people to the NFL. They wasn't doing this to appeal to you. You were going to tune in regardless to watch the Super Bowl. They didn't care if you watched the halftime show. The halftime show was to bring other people in. And just because you blindly are loyal to the NFL and your team doesn't mean they that loyal back to you. To them, it's all about money. But to you, you invested in it because you put a lot of emotion into your team. You put a lot of emotion to the NFL. So you think that you deserve the same back from them. And that's never going to happen. And this is the Fast and the Furious theory. It really is. The NFL is going to push the boundaries of its fans as long as the fans fill the seats. And for those of you that might not understand my theory, let me explain. So the first Fast and the Furious movie was great. All right. I think most people agree to that. But as the series grew, each movie got further far fetched. But people were still going to see the movies, hoping to catch the spark of the first one, kind of like chasing a high. So the theory is they pushed this movie to be farther far fetched on purpose. They do this as a gauge. If people will still support this movie, even though it has no resemblance to actual life, these people will believe anything that the elites tell these people slash fans. If the movie flops, then it's time for the narrative to switch because people are wising up. I really believe this is why they put so much dumb shit out there. It's a gauge to see how stupid people are. So in this case, they brought in Bad Bunny for a halftime show, knowing damn well most of the fans would not be able to understand him. But they knew regardless the NFL faithful will show up because they're conditioned to support the NFL. They're conditioned to support their team. This is how they keep us divided on everything. It's so stupid that people fall for this every time. Why do you allow these people to control your mind? It doesn't matter what I watch, what I like, or what I'm doing. If it doesn't directly affect your way of life, then it shouldn't matter. And the last time I checked, the Super Bowl halftime show had little to any effect on anyone's life outside of the artist performing. Think for yourself, people. It isn't that hard. Don't put yourself in a box. Life is more than a binary choice. So, Jason, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, you know what the average Super Bowl ticket cost is?
What's that?
$8,131 per seat.
That was the average?
That's the average cost of a ticket to the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Now, I don't know about you. Now, I watch Super Bowls. I did not watch this one. I'm not
I
gonna
didn't watch
lie.
this one.
I mean, I just wasn't interested in it. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't interested in Bad Bunny was already saying he was gonna sing a lot of his stuff in
Well, from
whatever
what
his native tongue is. So I'm
from what I
like,
found out is he speaks broken English, and all
yes,
of his songs are in Spanish. So it'd be kind of
yes.
hard for him to sing Spanish songs in English.
Yeah, it'd be hard for him to sing in English if he can't even hardly speak it. So
Yeah.
I understand that, but so I wasn't a big fan of trying to listen to him and do this or whatever. It's we did. Me and my wife were laying in the bedroom before I had to go to work, and we put it on the Turning Point US and watched it because I just wanted. I've seen Super Bowl halftime shows, so I'm not going there. That I was like feeling like the protesters over in Minneapolis, and I'm not doing that. I just
I'm
wanted
watching Turning Point. Fuck
point.
the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah. So I mean, I'm a big Chicago Bears fan. I've worn my Bears hat. I've worn my Bears sweatshirt. I got my Bear lanyard. I mean, I am. I've got Urlacher and Jay Cutler jerseys in my closet. Now, I've heard somebody say, how can a grown man wear another grown man's name on his back? I like football. That's the only sport I watch is NFL football. I don't
Now,
watch anything else.
I
But
find now I want to stop on that. I agree with what you're saying about no grown man wearing another grown man's name on his back. I have
yeah,
nothing against it as long as it's someone that you grew up with or you idolize. I have a problem with it when you got like a 50-year-old man and he's supporting, wearing the jersey of a 20-something-year-old or that's playing in the team. That just kind of weird to me,
right.
you know. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I have no problem wearing a Drew Brees fucking jersey or something. I mean, he brought everything to
Yeah.
New Orleans. So I mean, yeah,
I mean,
I get that.
other than McMahon, Jim McMahon for the Bears, I mean, Cutler was the only good quarterback we've ever had for a long time, right? And whether you liked him or not, I mean, the dude could sling the ball. And he grew up like an hour and a half from me over in Santa Claus, Indiana, is where he was from. But, anyways, yeah, you're right. This whole overseas shit is stupid of them playing games overseas. It's the national football and national. It's national to the nation of America. If them people want to come watch a football game, they can bring their butts over here and visit and go to a football game.
I agree with that. I don't think that you should take a home game away from fans that support this team all
Yeah.
the time to
Yeah,
go
what about the
overseas.
season ticket holders? You gonna pay for them to go over there? Like, if it's, say it's the Bears home game overseas, are you gonna pay for all the season ticket holders at the Bears to their flight and all that to go over to that
Nope.
stadium over in Peru or wherever you might put them to play? Are you gonna pay for that? No, you're not.
They
And
just
like
lose
you
the
said,
game.
they're just their money, dude. The NFL, like the NFL app used to be able to look at a lot of stuff on there. You can't now unless you subscribe to it.
Because they
You got to
got
pay
you by
money
the
now.
balls. They know
Well, they
they
want
know
you to
that
pay
no one's
money for something, even though you're watching all their games religiously, and commercials are so expensive to play on even a regular NFL game. It's some of the highest commercial rates
but why they charging you?
because you'll pay it. I
Because you'll
won't.
pay it.
I won't. I don't pay
I
that.
know, but I'm getting at, I mean, they know that people are gonna pay for it, so
I
there's
know.
a it's stupid, but
Well, it's just like the UFC, and we won't veer off to the left, and I'll make this real quick and short. But the UFC used to be on pay per view.
Mhm.
Now it's not. You got to have ESPN Plus or whatever in order to watch a UFC, and you still have to pay for it. It's like $100 now. That crap used to be like $60
Yep.
on pay per view, and now it's on some app that you have to have, or the NFL playing on Amazon Prime once a week.
Yeah.
Now you got to have a Prime, which we do because my wife, I think, is having an affair with me with the Amazon guy because he's here every day. That's a joke.
I get it, yeah, 'cause, the
Yeah.
Amazon guy's here every day for me, but, I mean, I'm not doing anything with them, not
Yeah.
not that,
No, yeah, but for you, but for her, it's like, yeah, it's not my name on the package. He said package. But anyways, yeah, so now people have to have the Amazon Prime. Just like when ESPN had Monday Night Football, I didn't believe in that because that used to be an off air. It used to be ABC. Then they went back to it where it was simulcast between ESPN and ABC.
Yeah.
But now they went to Thursday night on Amazon Prime. And then Peacock will have a game also during a couple games during the year too. And it's like, hold up now. You got to have a subscription to that. So they're selling, the NFL is selling games to these companies that require you to have a subscription separate of that. Netflix, you see what I'm saying? It's all these other streaming entities that you have to pay in order to get that.
Yeah, and I can understand why they go on that route on some of them because, I mean, that's just where everything's going to streaming, but they do know that they have everybody hooked. They're the king dingalings throwing out the crack down the road, and everybody's going to them to get the crack and they hooked. The NFL
Right,
got the people like that. And that's what
right.
pisses people off so much is they so emotionally invested in their NFL team, which trust me, I understand it, why you invested in it because it gives you a break from reality and all this other stuff. The
Dude, I
problem
like to
is,
see the elite of elite go at it like that, dude. You
yeah,
got to admit, them dudes are talented. They
oh
are
yeah, very
very
talented.
talented.
But the
Yes.
problem is that you get so invested in it in a team that's they're not invested in their fans. I'm
Right.
getting at they're going to exploit you at every corner, but then you're going to get mad when they put Bad Bunny on. It doesn't make any sense. Is my whole point is you see what they're doing. I mean, you're describing what they're doing to the
D-
NFL and how they're bringing it all apart, but then you can't understand why Bad Bunny's there
Well, what
because
other horrible halftime shows? They've had a bunch of bad halftime shows, man. I've
yeah,
always said, why can't we have Metallica? Why can't we have Led Zeppelin when they were still going, right? Why
because
couldn't we
somebody
have?
else is still going to bitch no matter what.
I know, I'm just saying, but like, can we not mix it? Like, one of my favorite ones was Prince. I thought he did
Yeah.
a real good one. The Red Hot Chili Peppers was good, but then come to find out, they caught it on camera. He didn't even have anything. Then they admitted that they were lip singing and lip playing because he didn't even have a dang thing plugged into his bass guitar. He didn't even have a wireless pack or plugged into it.
No.
Yeah, it was just free flowing. I mean,
Were you entertained?
Yes.
Before you seen all that, were you
Yes.
entertained? That's all that matters. That was
Yes.
entertainment.
It's like, stop it. Listen, I didn't boycott. I wasn't bought into this Super Bowl. I had no skin in the game. The Bears didn't make it past the first win in the playoff, right? They got beat by the Rams. Could have won. Wish they would have and rode that carpet, but they didn't. I enjoyed watching them this year, even though they about gave me a heart attack every game because they had like 8 comeback victories in the last minute, so. And
But
why
that's
do
worth
I even
watching.
get that wound up about a game? But I do. It's fun. But at the same time, keep the politics out of it because I'm
Yep.
not watching it for that. I'm watching it for a sport. I don't care about their beliefs. I don't care about their religion. I don't care about anything. I just want to see these cats go at it and play some good football. That's all I want to watch.
Yep, and quit pussyfying it.
Yes. Damn. And
God.
they say it hurts. They do say, but the turf toe, dude out for 6 weeks for turf toe. It's like, come on, man, put some tape on that sucker and get out there and play, dude. Especially if you're on my fantasy team. You cost me dang money. And I'll probably play again next year, but I'm tired of playing that too because it messes you up. Then I start rooting for guys like, man, they're playing the Bears, but I hope he gets this, but then I hope they still get beat. It's like, I just want to watch a game. When I didn't play fantasy, that was the best time for the NFL with me. And like the
Well, see, you need
Kaepernick,
to play fantasy like I've played. I don't even watch. I play fantasy, but I don't even
Right.
watch the team as I play. And I record the game. So on Sunday afternoons, I watch the Saints game after everything's over. I don't watch anything else. I just watch the Saints game and then I check Monday on how I did on my fantasy.
Yeah, so you're not. Yeah, well,
I'm
I
not
can't
as
do that.
invested. I still have my Saints shrine, but I'm
Right.
not as invested in the NFL as I used to be. I'm not as emotionally invested in NFL as I used to be. And I can honestly say I'm happier that way. Not
Yes.
because I don't enjoy the team, it's because my blood pressure don't get up every Sunday. I
Right.
don't, I can look at the game. It's an unbiased way. I can see what's wrong on both
Right.
sides. I can
Right.
see what's right on both sides. I'm not
Right.
emotionally involved. Now, my wife, she just started watching and she got involved in all this, and she's fucking emotionally involved. And I tell her, said, look, it's great to be emotionally involved. The problem is you're gonna be let down more than you
Oh yeah, I mean, it'll drive you BS
Yeah.
crazy, man. It will. I mean, it does. You get wild up for that stuff, and it's like, holy cow, man.
And the whole thing is and what I was trying to get at is, yes, I agree. I enjoy football, and a lot of people enjoy football. The problem is the NFL's not going to give you the same support back. Is my whole
No,
point.
they're not. They're just getting their money from you, and they're living the high life, like you said. This elite dude. It's like we're down here in our little crap holes, and they're up there in their ivory towers looking down on us. And
No,
all
it ain't
we
like
get,
that. It is like that.
well, yeah, but we get 10-day-old bread and all the leftovers. And it ain't even the leftover. There's people above us getting the leftovers. We're getting like the 5-overs or something. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy.
You just said that, and it just made me think: if someone in an elite status had to eat the bread, drink the milk, and use the butter that we consume, how bad would that be for them?
Yeah. You know what I had for dinner tonight?
What's up?
2 ballpark hot dogs in a microwave with ketchup and mustard. And anybody that says, "Oh, he puts ketchup," yes, I do. My family's from Montana, so shut up. I like ketchup and mustard on my hot dog.
I like mustard.
Yeah, I don't like relish. I don't like that crap. So yeah, ketchup and mustard.
Well, what
And
was
then-
Sling Blade had? He had, what was it, biscuits and mustard?
No, wasn't it fries and mustard? Yeah. But anyways, and then a bowl of Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs.
Man, you
If
live
Roger
large.
Goodell ate a damn microwave hot dog with ketchup and mustard, you know what I'm saying to these owners
Oh, yeah.
of the NFL team? They ain't eating that crap. They're not going to eat a bologna sandwich or a fried bologna sandwich or a smoked bologna sandwich. They're not going to eat that stuff, Brian.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
They got
Now-
damn personal chefs that come in their house and make. Roger's sitting there on his couch like, man, I'm feeling hungry. Picks up the phone. Hey, dude, how about you come over here and cook me something? Surprise me.
I did. It was, I seen this story. I'm going to play this clip real quick. about Sam Darnold. You pretty much goes over there and just his bonus just gets pretty much taken from him in tax money, thanks to how all this shit works in California. Let's check this shit out.
The state of California just robbed Sam Darnold blind for playing in the Super Bowl. This man lost money for winning a ring. So because the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, every single player on the roster gets $178,000 as a bonus. Congrats, you won. Now on paper, that sounds pretty good, right? Almost 200 grand for winning a Super Bowl? Hell yeah. But here's the problem. The game was played at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. And California, although beautiful, has the most aggressive jock tax in the entire country. And California, of course, doesn't just tax the bonus that you make in the state, they tax your entire salary based on how many days you were in the state. And they call them duty days. And because Darnold spent almost a week in Santa Clara, California preparing for the Super Bowl, California saw that as him making a week's worth of income on his $100 million contract as California income. So even though he plays for Seattle and Washington has no state income tax, he suddenly owes California a ton of taxes because it's based on his daily salary rate, and he was there for a week. So Darnold's Super Bowl bonus was $178,000, but his tax bill was $249,000. So basically Darnold had to pay 71 grand to win a Super Bowl in California out of his own pocket. Now, of course, Darnold is going to be just fine. He had a total bonus of $4 million this year. He won't even feel that $71,000. But it's just hilarious how the state of California is making more money off of Sam Darnold's performance than Sam Darnold is making off of Sam Darnold's performance. Gotta love California. Am I right?
How about that shit, huh?
See, they should be banned from having any games there until they get that crap fixed.
Well, it is fixed in their mind. They're making money.
Well, that's going to go towards Gavin Newsom's homeless campaign, isn't it?
Yeah, what it was, how many years was in that? 20 years or whatever?
Yeah, his
10
10-year
years?
plan in 20 years, 16 or something, 16, 17 years on his 20-year plan, or his 10-year plan.
10-year
sorry.
plan.
Yeah, it's taking a little bit longer than we thought. But hey, that was just Sam Darnold. That wasn't including every team or player on that team, coach.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Everybody.
So, yeah, they got a fuck ton of, I mean, not only did they make out well by having the Super Bowl in their state and everything that brought in, then they fucking ass raped everybody that went there. I mean,
and the losing team, too, probably had to pay taxes.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, because what he said is based off of
their
your salary and how many days you were there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just completely fucked up. I mean, you want to talk about some communist shit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, why don't they go play at Tennessee or something? You know what I'm saying? The Titan Stadium or the Bengals Stadium.
Yeah, and stay away from that. I mean, I'm sure if the coaches and the players had to vote on it, man, I don't want to go spend my money in California.
No, I'm sure like Arizona's probably like over there at where is that? Starts with a C. I can't think of it. Phoenix, outside of Phoenix, there, the suburb of Phoenix.
Oh, they in Glendale.
Glendale, yeah. I drove right past that stadium. Yeah, sounds like a C. I don't know my alphabet, dude. I don't spell it. I'm from Kentucky. 11. Give me that 11-piece nugget.
I listened to Clay and Buck, and so I don't know if you ever listened to the Clay and Buck show, but Clay Travis from Clay and Buck was in San Francisco for the Super Bowl, and he was there. I think it might have been on the Friday before. He was talking about how you just walking around the streets was disgusting, and how many needles that he was, stepping over, and there was human shit. And it's kind of sad because San Francisco was a beautiful place. You remember when we went there, I think it was when we saw the 49ers Saints game in 96. It was nice. The whole area was nice. I actually went walk around and shit. And I mean, I thought it was nice. But I guess on the socialist command of Gavin Newsom, it went to total shit. But he's now still talking about how great his state is. It's the 5th biggest economy on the planet, he said. And I'm going to show you a video. And in the video, the video itself is from a left-wing source. So it's trying to show that California is doing a lot better than a lot of the red states. And I want you to notice Kentucky and Louisiana on the poverty list that's listed in this video.
Well, I'm proud of My state. We have more Fortune 500 companies than any other state in America, more scientists, engineers, more Nobel laureates. My state than any state in America, the finest system of higher public education in the world. We have 18% of the world's R&D. China, 22%. Germany, 21%. California, 18% of the world's R&D. We're the center of the universe as it relates to AI.
I mean,
32
California is
of the
wonderful,
50.
but what about the governance?
Well, the governance, we're one of the lowest uninsured rates in America. You mentioned healthcare. We just did our state of education report, which showed in every category, every classroom, making progress with our test scores. Our investments are paying off. Just did a big state of the state.
The idea that these blue states have trouble, are spending more for less results?
I don't know. Higher life expenses, expectancy, lower infant mortality, lower gun death rates, more productivity, higher wages, higher quality of life. $83.1 billion. That was the net contribution that we provided to the federal government versus red state like Texas that was a taker state of $73.1 billion. So we're producing more and people are, I think, creating more opportunities. So
Sorry, I had to like get up on that to see those little y'all
But we,
y'all higher than us though.
yeah, we 5, y'all 6 in the poverty list.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's pretty good. Huh? I mean, we
Hey.
suck. Now, when's the last time you walked outside and had to step over fucking human shit and needles?
Never.
So,
Dog
I mean,
shit.
yeah, I mean, like human shit. And he was
No.
at the WEF in Davos, where you know all these
Mhm.
elites get together and determine how we're going to live. And he's telling everybody how great all this shit is, and
Right.
then, and you know how great his state is. And trust me, I think California's a beautiful state. I'll say that every day. I think it's in terrible hands right now, but it is a beautiful state, and I think it's sad on where they're at now. But when I was looking at this information, I ran across. I wasn't even looking for this. First of all, I was just scrolling and I seen this shit, and I'm like, and I seen Sam Darnold, and I seen this like shit. This go good together. But then I ran across a guy from San Jose, and he's going to describe what the middle class people are in San Jose now. Check this shit out.
I live in San Jose. I've been a loan officer here for about 20 years. I've helped a lot of families buy homes in the Bay Area, and I just saw a number that made me pull over and record this. 272,000. That's what they're calling the middle class in San Jose right now. Not rich, not upper class, middle class. If you make $272,000 a year in this city, you, my friend, are average. I need to talk about what's actually happening in California because nobody's being honest about it. The Transparency Foundation just dropped a report, and they do this every year. They take a family of 4, middle class, and build out a basic budget. Housing, daycare, health insurance, car insurance, gas, electricity, water, food, the basics. Then they compare California to the national average. You ready? A typical family of 4 in California pays $29,753 more per year just to live here than the rest of the country. They're calling it the California cost of living penalty. And that's exactly what it is, a penalty for living here. Now, let me break it down. Housing, 124% higher than the national average. You're paying more than double what someone in Texas pays for the same house. Gas, 50% higher. Every fill-up, you're paying a California tax that doesn't exist anywhere else in the country. Electricity, 101% higher. Your PG&E bill is literally twice what someone in Arizona would pay. Childcare, 51% higher. You want to work? Cool. That'll cost you an extra $5,000 a year just to have someone watch your kids. And here's what kills me. California's inflation rate last year was 6.1%. The national average was 2.9%. Our inflation is running 210% higher than the entire rest of the country. So when politicians say inflation's coming down, they're not talking about California. We're still getting crushed. Now, let me show you.
Sound like California's doing pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean, we even said that, Brian. If we weren't in the military, there's no way in heck we could ever live over there. And we couldn't even hardly live over there in the military.
No, it's ridiculous on, you know, what it's cost these people to live out there. And this
Right.
guy has a lot more to say. So I cut this in 3 segments because I wanted you to be able to digest this. It's really shocking. I don't have the whole video because he goes on for a long time, but he has some really good points. Well, here's the second cut.
California. We're still getting crushed. Now, let me show you why this matters. This isn't just numbers. This is your life. A middle-class family in California making $130,000 a year. Well, it sounds like good money, right? Two people making $65K each, solid jobs, doing everything right. After taxes, that family brings home about $7,200 per month. Their cost of living is $9,964 a month. See the problem? They're running a $32,000 annual deficit, going backwards. 32 grand a year just trying to exist. Where's that money coming from? Well, you know better than I do. Credit cards, home equity, retirement accounts, wherever you can dip in to find it. And this isn't some broke family who made bad decisions. This is middle-class people. People who did everything they were told to do. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, work hard. And the math doesn't math. Patrick David tells a story. He took his 5 kids out for ice cream, 1 scoop each on waffle cones. Super basic. The bill came out to $64. He looks at the camera and he says, what average family can pay $64 for ice cream? The answer is, well, they can't. They're putting it on a credit card. And that's why credit card debt just hit $1.25 trillion. That's why car repos are at the highest level they've been since 2009. That's why 60% of people on a business podcast said they're living paycheck to paycheck. The math doesn't work. And everyone's pretending that it still does.
When you look at the numbers in that way, it's just mind blowing how they survive out there.
I know. I probably got on Google Earth or something. We were trying to find Mayo Court and all that where we lived over there. And it took a while to find it because it's changed, right? Now it's this big old complex of townhouses and all that. I mean, just crammed, right? It's crazy how it looks over there. She got in Street View and kind of went onto our street, and it's like, I guarantee. And then we looked at the cost of those houses, and I think it was like $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 for them houses. It was crazy.
5, 6, 700,000.
$500,000 to $700,000 for them condos or whatever they were.
Townhouses.
Yeah, but they tore down all our, of course.
Well, I couldn't see them living in shit that we lived in.
Yeah, well, I had a nice place.
I'm just period. It doesn't matter what we lived in.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was nice, but not to them it wasn't.
No, I mean, even the little place I had, I thought was nice.
So, yeah. Anyways, dude, how do you afford that? She told me what the cost was on that, and I was like, I don't even see how somebody makes that kind of money.
Well, let's check to see how much there. One more short video of this guy saying how much these people are getting fucked over there. Now, Gavin Newsom just told the world how great it is. Yeah, I mean, Gavin Newsom just told the world how great it is.
All right. If you're elite.
Does. Now, here's where I get pissed off because I see this every day. People are drowning. They're maxed out on credit cards, stressed out about money, doing math in their head at the grocery store, trying to figure out if their credit card has enough money on it or if their check got deposited. Come to me and say, Rami, can I refinance? Can I pull some equity out and pay off these credit cards? Get some breathing room. You know what's happening? Banks are denying refinances at 45.7% right now, the highest rate ever recorded. They tell people, sorry, but your debt to income ratio is simply too high. Your credit score has dropped. You don't qualify. But think about why they're saying no. If you got a mortgage at 6.5% and credit cards at 24%, well, the bank makes money on both, high interest on your house and high interest on your cards. If they let you refinance and consolidate, they lose the 6.5% mortgage and they lose the 24% credit card income. So they deny you. They keep you stuck. Keep making money while you drown. That's not underwriting. That is a business decision. You are the product.
Pretty fucked up, huh? I get it. They playing the game against you, and the game of numbers. But I would assume at one time banks were there to help the communities,
right?
And not so much anymore. They basically pillaging the American people,
playing us.
Oh yeah, it's they have you chasing that carrot, and you can't get it. I mean, you'll never get the carrot. But they're constantly taking from you as you're trying to get the carrot. It's
like taking frozen spinach and defrosting it to make your spinach dip and putting it in a dish towel and wringing it out, dude, until there's no more water. That's what they're doing to us. I know that was a weird analogy, but I could just sit there. You had to keep ringing it because you didn't want any liquid in that thing, and you can
Yeah,
get it pretty, and it just balls you up, man. And they wonder why alcoholism and drug use and anxiety. I mean, dude, they're driving it. And then let's get into that, Brian. What does that cause? Pharmaceutical, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's a big vicious cycle. Yeah,
They
it's crazy.
just like what we were talking about when you think about it, I just thought about this when we did 16 tons of Gucci, when we was talking about,
Oh, yeah.
owing your soul to the company store. It's
Company
the same
store.
shit. I mean,
Yeah.
everything we're talking about, it goes back to the same thing. The
They
same
don't want you
people,
living the dream.
no, your job is to give them the dream,
That's right.
and the reason, I George Carlin and said, the reason it's called an American dream, because, I mean, basically that's all you're going to do. I mean, you can't reach it. It's just a dream.
No, you're going to dream about it.
Yeah. And they sitting there, and I don't know if you heard about the census thing that Trump's pushing, and I don't know if it actually passed yet, but they plan to take illegals out of the census counting, which I think is a great thing, because
Right.
the census and the population is what gives you your the electoral votes and all this other stuff. And the California people are fighting harder for the illegals because their population is bleeding because of shit like this, right? So there's the people that can leave their state for better taxes and shit in other states, they're leaving and they're going to red states. And Trump's push to get illegals removed from the census count is huge. Without them being counted in the census is going to hurt the blue states, so they're going to lose, some electoral votes and shit. And Jeremy Meade had put this together, and I'm gonna show it to you. I don't know if you follow Jeremy Meade, but he has some pretty good information. Check him out.
Look at this above my head. This is the 2030 apportionment forecast, which will be based off the 2030 census. So this is predicting if states will increase in electoral votes, decrease in electoral votes, or stay the same. If you pay attention, every single state that's decreasing in electoral votes is blue. Essentially, every state that's green is either red or trending red. You can argue or debate about Georgia, but my overall point still stands. This is terrifying for Democrats, and I'll explain why. This is also likely why Joe Biden let in millions upon millions of illegal immigrants, and why we've seen Democrats fighting us so hard to enforce our immigration laws and deport these illegal immigrants. So 3 things are converging at once right now. The first one is people are moving from blue states to red states. The only reason California has been seeing consistent population gains is due to international migration to California. Americans are moving out of California to red states. And again, why is this important? Because of apportionment. So let's take this a step back and let's just talk about off the jump when it comes to presidential elections. Electoral votes. Republicans start at an advantage when it comes to electoral votes, meaning there are more solid red states than there are solid blue states. So depending on how you look at it, Republicans start with around a 240 electoral vote baseline before the election even really begins. That's baked in. Democrats start with around a 200 to 210 electoral vote baseline. Republicans already have the advantage there, and that's essentially just off the rip. So let's think about this. I'm going to go back a little bit. First thing, Republicans already have a baked in advantage when it comes to the electoral college. They already start closer to 270 than Democrats do. Again, this is based off of solid red states versus solid blue states. Now, here's the second thing. Individuals are moving out of blue states and moving to red states, which then in 2030, from then on, for the next 10 years, it will increase red states' electoral vote baseline. So once 2030 starts, the advantage for Republicans will even be larger. Now, let's add the third thing, which is voter registration. Democrats are losing a ton of voters.
Yeah, I like that dude. Yeah, I've seen him a lot. He was actually a wide receiver in college.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He got a lot of good information, and this census shit is good. I mean, that's the reason why they're trying to hold on to these damn illegals.
Yeah, there's a TikTok about Dick being a Democrat in California, then he moves to Texas, but then he starts voting blue there, because he doesn't want to live in California because he don't want to pay all them taxes and all that other stuff. So he moves to Texas to pay the lower taxes, but he brings his dang liberal thinking there, and it says, don't be a dick. Because don't do that. Once again, you're moving to my state. Don't sit there and try to spin that stuff, man. Who was I talking to this morning during our men's breakfast? My grandpa was a Democrat. but he was an old school Democrat. And Democrats back in the day, they were more like Republicans now, right?
Yeah.
My grandpa was a conservative thinking guy. He was salary, he wasn't union. He wasn't big on the union. Like unions that protected workers, he was for that, but the ones that just protected you from getting fired from your job for being a turd, he didn't like that, right? He didn't like of guys paying union dues and all that stuff, and then they go on strike over petty crap that the elites wanted of the union, right? The higher ups of the union wanted all this stuff, so they'd make the young union workers go on strike, and they'd almost starve to death. And he knew it was crooked, but they were also, I'm not going to call my grandpa that, but if you go back and look at Biden back in the day, what was that dude voting for? Kamala called him out for it. Segregation. They were racist. They didn't like blacks. They
Oh, you're
didn't.
talking about the Democratic
The
Party.
Democrats back in the 60s and 50s and all that, they didn't like that. Dude, during the presidential campaign where she was running against Biden for the nominee the first time, you see what I'm saying? She played that stuff and she wanted apologies from me
Yeah, I
for
remember
voting
that.
for segregation.
For
So that's what
putting
I'm
on the
getting.
bus.
Yeah. Yeah. So he said, get in the back of the bus, woman. And that's how they were. But I don't know where my grandpa died in 99. I know he was having fits about Clinton when they were running Clinton up for the Monica Lewinsky stuff. He was getting all in an uproar about that. And I was like, Grandpa, he he's the chief of the military. And in the military, if you get caught doing that, you get in trouble. I said he should be held to the same standard. Well, they're just setting him up. Oh, whatever. I mean, because he had that logic in his head. If he's seen how woke they are now, Bryan, I think he done turned. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
and I don't think you could just put that on Democrats, period. I mean, yes, can they be woke? Yeah, but they all just fucking turds. I think back then you actually felt like you could believe in your politicians. You
Yes.
didn't see all the rot. So I can understand why some would think that way. But now,
Well, you got far left and far right, and they're both
I don't
messed
even,
up.
yeah, I don't even talk about far or left or far right or moderate. When it comes to politicians, they're all, I ain't gonna say all, majority of them are just fucked up.
Yeah, they're all crooked.
So
You're right.
we're gonna quit picking on California, and we're gonna switch gears to this Epstein shit. I mean, everyone's talking about this, and trust me, there's things if you haven't seen that you don't want to see or hear that's coming out of these files. I get that. And it's pretty bad. And what I can't understand is how the fuck we don't have any investigation into anything right now. Not one. Yet we have other countries that open up investigations into people that were mentioned in these files. And some of these people they're investigating have resigned from their jobs. And these are prominent people in their country. So we got the United Kingdom, Norway, France, Poland, Lithuania, Slovakia, and Sweden. All of them have opened up investigations into prominent people that were mentioned in the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Germany and Ireland that have a call to action on all this. And where are our investigations? I mean, where's like JD Vance? JD Vance is supposed to be the purest in the whole. Yeah, he's when I look at JD Vance, hillbilly elegy. He came from poverty. He went in the Marine Corps. He made it through all the stuff. If anyone in politics right now should relate to something like us, it should be JD Vance. And I'm not trying to say he's not a good person, but why is he not pushing for more transparency on it? Why not even say transparent? Why don't we have a fucking investigation? Why is he not speaking out on this? Why is he not more vocal about this shit? Why all of them aren't more vocal? And the only reason I'm calling JD Vance because he's the only one I can see that would be closer to
us.
to relating to us.
Right.
So why are we not seeing something from him?
Right.
I mean,
I don't know.
So we always talk about politics as a gang. I mean, does everyone just have to get in line? Is that where we're at? Just go ahead and get yourself
It's like
in
they're
line.
all out on the yard, right, in a prison, and you got to pick your side, man.
Well, they got this guy, Michael Lester. He was on with Sean Ryan. He's a former Marine Corps combat pilot. And he discussed right here on how politicians become corrupt. And I thought it was pretty good. So I'm going to play that for you.
Ready? I think our country is occupied. I think most of our politicians are beholden to other forces.
Do you think they even know that?
Oh, yeah, they do.
All of them?
It would be hard not to.
Do you feel like the caliber of person that's going into politics is lower caliber than before?
I think they're opportunists.
You think they go in as opportunists?
I think many of them do. I think many of them go in with all the right reasons and then get corrupted. I have a friend in Atlanta that is running. And he asked, hey, I'm running, right? I'm the challenger. I can use funding. Can you help out, right? I said, I'd love to. But I said, as a friend, I would hate to see you win. Because if you win and you go there, you will become dirty. You can't get around it. You will need to make deals with the devil. And it starts with a small one, and then a bigger one, and then a bigger one. And eventually you get 4 or 5 years down the road, you're like, I'm bought.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help it. I did it for all the right reasons. But now I owe this person that because I agreed to that, and I owe this person this because I agreed to this. And I don't think either of those are right, but I have no choice.
You're trapped.
You're trapped.
Is this why we're not investigating anyone? I mean, are they all corrupt?
Didn't Bondi come out and said if we took down everybody in them files, it would take the whole system down as we know it?
Oh, she said that? I didn't know she said that.
That's what I heard was said.
Well, burn that motherfucker down. I'm serious. I did see this though. I mean, Bondi, they I can't even say this straight because it's just so fucked up. So they asked Pam Bondi, why aren't you investigating people? And she's pissed off at the hearing. I get it because they've been beating her up all fucking day. And then her answer is, well, how about the Dow? The stock market's doing great.
She tried to.
Your money's doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to this shit.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Mr. Jordan, am I going to get an extra 45 seconds added to my time?
The committee will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas. Ms. Bondi, the Attorney General can respond.
Thank you. The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1 year.
Okay, so why are you not investigating anyone from the Epstein file? Have you seen the Dow?
What is that? Redirecting, isn't it? Like when you get on to one of your guys at work and he tries to bring up some weird crap to get you all what?
Yeah, like what? And I get
What'd
it.
you
She's
just
trying
say?
to highlight what they're doing right. I get that. I'm not arguing that point. There are some things that this administration is doing good. I'm not
I know,
arguing
but
that.
but this whole hearing isn't over that. It's over the Epstein files. So why are we
Exactly.
bringing the Dow up?
Have you not seen what we did in the Dial? I mean,
I'm going to use that.
has to
Hey,
be-
when my wife says, "Hey, honey, did you take the honey? Have you seen the Dow?"
Have you seen the Dial?
Yeah. When Jenny comes in there and says, "Brian, are we going to take cover and shelter for this tornado?" Hey, have you seen the Dow?
Have you seen the Dow? Have you seen what we're doing for you? Have you seen how rich you are? Have you
Yeah.
seen that? It doesn't matter that that kid's getting ass raped over there. Have you seen how good your 401k is doing?
Yeah.
I mean, this is not what people want to fucking hear. I don't understand how they are losing touch with people. Well, I guess I can understand because they don't understand us. You know, they don't understand us at all. I've said that multiple times, but how there's no one that could be sitting there in their political circle saying that this is good messaging. It's not possible.
Hey,
Somebody's telling them that.
I'm going to say right now, if they would smoke the whole system that is there in them files, if they would take that down, I guarantee a majority of the Americans, a majority, Brian, would vote that sucker in for a third term.
If they burnt this sumbitch to the ground,
yes,
you know, yeah,
if
that's why we put them in there.
To me, that's the swamp.
Yeah, that's why they put them in there.
Yeah, pull the plug on this thing and let it fly. Release the true information about the Kennedy files, because Oswald did not kill Kennedy. I'm sorry. That dude didn't do that.
Well, explain to me why Trump has this take. I put a little montage together, and I still can't understand this, why he says this shit. Just listen.
It was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC, and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. Could I just interrupt for a second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time on it? Do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead. They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much, because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us.
On the Epstein files, you talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published by the Department of Justice?
Yeah, I didn't. I have a lot of things I'm doing, and a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You mentioned 2 names. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it would have been major headlines.
A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you think that they should be more transparent?
The fact that they thought they released too much. You know, I heard that, and you tell me something else. So, I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else. You know, now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
But what would you say to people who feel like they haven't gotten justice, Mr. President?
Something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say?
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they haven't gotten justice?
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile.
Well, I'm asking you about survivors.
You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you.
These are survivors of a sexual abuse.
No, I can't disagree with what he said about Caitlin Collins, because I don't really like Caitlin Collins either.
But she's a good-looking woman, though. But that's about all she's got going for her. But anyway,
this whole damn deflection shit doesn't make sense.
Well, he ran on that, dude.
Yep, he ran on. He was going to let that Epstein files out.
If he's tired of hearing about it, why'd he run on it?
Well, that's my whole thing. Is why did he change this? Is what changed to make him change his mind? You know, and I can
either
live
that
with,
or we got played.
That
to get him in there.
That's
Maybe
quite
there
possible.
wasn't nothing. There's something, but maybe there wasn't nothing he was worried about. He just used it as a stepping stone to get more of us on board, mate. I don't know.
Well, and I don't think it was so much. I want to know what's going on with the Epstein files because, in my mind, they did a lot of injustice to a lot of kids and a lot of families that needs to come out. They should not be above the law. That's the way I look at it. But I think he also reached out during his campaign on the Epstein files because, like, people like me and you were going to vote for him anyway. He got other people drawn in by saying he was going to release the Epstein files. He brought in more people to his campaign, and he's doing a disservice to everyone. It doesn't matter whether you voted for him or not. I mean, I would, just like we were saying earlier, I would think the majority of the country wants to see justice on this shit.
Yeah, but here's the deal, Brian. Why are the Democrats not releasing it?
What you mean? Why they didn't release it before?
Why didn't they release it last term?
It doesn't matter why they didn't release it. He said he was going to release it.
I know, but nobody else, Massey and somebody else are the only two people that say they got it and they're fixing it. One dude's already released a bunch of names already that were marked out.
Ro Khanna. And we're going to go over that.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, they could have, this could have started years and years ago. I agree with that. Having said that, no one's done anything.
That's what I'm not taking up for Trump, but it's not like he has the overall power not to say nothing at all.
No, but my whole point is if you were going to come in and you were going to release the files, and let's just say you don't release all the files, but yet you have some names in there. Where's your investigation into those people?
That's what we're getting at.
There is no investigation.
I know nobody's being even looked at. He's acting like it's a big hoax, but okay, then why did your big red hair, orange skin ass sit there and run on that if it was such a big hoax?
And people get butthurt and they'll say, just like the big defense is, well, why the Democrat? Quit doing that shit. We can't keep going back and forth because as long as we keep saying, well, he didn't do this, shut up. What are we doing now? We have to move forward.
I know, but I'm not.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about period.
No, but I brought him up. Why are they not doing it now? They don't need him to release the names.
Why? Who's not doing what now?
Massey says he's got them, and if they don't do it, he'll release them. Then release the damn things. Why are you threatening people? Do it.
Oh, why Massey's not releasing the names?
No, and then anybody, Brian.
Well, see, from what I've seen right now, I don't know if he can actually. The names that were redacted and they can see in a skiff. So they can't bring phones and also they can see them, but they can't. From what I understand, they can't legally do that until the DOJ gives them a permission to, unredacted.
He said if Bondi doesn't do it here soon, he's going to do it. So he's not saying, hey, do the right thing. I can't do nothing. My hands are tied because of legalities. He is threatening that he is fixing to release it. So why are you threatening? Just if you're going to give her a week to do it or 2 weeks or a month, then just damn do it.
Because I believe if he's thinking that he's going to do it, he's going to have to get enough people to back him so he don't end up in jail.
Well, I think if this burns the whole thing down, whoever comes out on top of this will release him from jail. You see what I'm saying?
You would think so, but I think this is, and I'm not taking up for Massey. I think what him and Ro Khanna are doing, and I will never take up for Ro Khanna as far as, most of the things except for this.
Right.
I mean, they're the ones that's taking the brunt of it. And I'm going to show you this a little bit later on how much heat these guys are taking, because of they actually going against the grain to get this shit out there. So
it's like investing in a very volatile company, right? It's either going to be a big hit or a big miss for Ro Khanna, it sounds like, because he's not tied to it at all. You see what I'm saying? So this could really launch his political career if he's the savior of the Epstein, right? If he's you follow me there?
I follow your whole. I agree with that. I believe right now, and I was telling this to Jennifer earlier. The Democrats have I'm not going to say they have less to lose because they're involved too, but the younger Democrats, like the AOCs and the Ro Khannas and all, they wasn't even in any of this shit, right?
No.
Because Epstein and all is gone. So they have nothing to lose. And these older Democrats and these other Republicans that was in that shit, they're scared to death of this because whether they were part of it or not, they were still, they were complicit in a way that they didn't fucking do anything.
Yes.
And they had to
knew
know
everything.
something. They had to know something.
Yes.
But these younger people, they're trying to expose it. And in my mind, this is a good way for them just to get rid of all the old people. And now they're, you know, they're the new kings of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, they're the new world order. Yes.
So, I mean, it really bodes out well for them. Now,
now the only thing is staying alive doing this.
Yes, exactly.
But
You're
here,
right
you've
about that.
already, but listen to me, Bryan, like let's dumb it down. Let's dumb it down to its lowest level. Keep it simple, stupid. So
Okay.
everybody listening to this, which I heard we got 53 followers now on Facebook. Thank you. We're bumping up, but they're already running their mouths. They're not trying to hide nothing. They're saying we know and we're fixing to let it out. If you were that worried about your life, it would be some what do you call that? Where you don't know who let it out. I just lost my word for that. Not a random person, just like where they blackface them and change their voice and all that. Gosh dang, I can't think of that. But anyway,
We can think about it because
my listeners are yelling it.
No.
The listeners are yelling it at the radio
I
or
can cut
at
this
YouTube.
out. What is it called, though?
No, you got to keep us in there because we're senseless, right? We're not making sense here, but
Yeah, but I ain't gonna leave a fucking 5-minute break in it on us trying to think of what the fuck it's called. It's because the Democrats use it all the time. They have a witness, and it's some kind of witness,
like a witness protection thing or something, right? What's
anonymous?
Anonymous.
The anonymous source.
Yeah.
That anonymous source.
The anonymous source. So why don't they just do an anonymous source if they're really worried about their life instead of running their mouth saying they're going to do it if Pam Bondi does it or whatever? I mean, Pam Bondi might sit back. If she knows somebody's going to lose their life over this, she might be like, go ahead. Go ahead. I'd rather the American people be mad at me than lose my life.
I don't think that's the issue. Well, let's check this out. I got Caitlin Collins again on the Trump files. Let's see if any of this adds up. Now you got it. Caitlin Collins pretty much hates Trump, so we all understand that. So it's not it's going to be something nice.
More than 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images. CNN teams are carefully sifting through the largest, and what the Justice Department says is the last, batch of Jeffrey Epstein files. It's an enormous trove of documents, and it includes references to some of the richest and most powerful people on the planet. That includes the current president, a former president, cabinet secretaries, a former prime minister, billionaires, and the list goes on and on and on. The Justice Department says tonight that its job is done.
We complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no we did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents.
I should note that just because someone is mentioned in these documents does not mean that they've been accused of wrongdoing or did anything wrong. Many of these claims are unverified or they rely on secondhand information. But these are the key findings our team has uncovered so far, and I should note, millions of pages have come out. We are still digging right now in this hour. Donald Trump's name appears thousands of times in these new documents. In some, he's merely mentioned in emails that Jeffrey Epstein sent to other people. But the files also contain a complaint from a woman who accused Trump of raping her in 1994 when she was just 13 years old. According to the FBI document, this accuser, who is identified as Jane Doe, said that Jeffrey Epstein was, quote, angry that Trump was the one to take her virginity and that she was also raped by Jeffrey Epstein. This woman had previously launched lawsuits against Trump and dropped them. The last one happened right before the 2016 election. The president has previously denied these allegations. Also included in today's release was a list of sexual assault allegations related to the president compiled by the FBI in August. many of which appear to have come from unverified tips. We don't know why tonight the FBI made this list, and there are more than a dozen allegations that are included in it. But recall what the president has previously said about these documents, about the Jeffrey Epstein files. He said that they are a hoax and that the release of them could ruin people's reputations.
I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him.
I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax.
I don't get the hoax thing.
Now, the Russia thing was.
No, I meant the whole hoax about the Epstein files. I don't get that. The Russia hoax, I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't get the hoax thing with the Russia files. I'm sorry, with the Epstein files.
The only thing, Brian, that I can put together from what I've known and what I've seen or whatever, yes, I believe that there's a lot of stuff tied to that man, to Epstein. But I think Trump used it to step up, like I said, to launch himself up a little bit higher in the polls for the presidency, knowing this was his last run. He didn't do it in his first, did he? Epstein was there in the first. Right?
Yeah.
He didn't run with it for that one.
No, I don't
because
think
if he didn't release it, he damn sure wouldn't have won the second one. You know what I'm saying? There wouldn't even been a question why he didn't win that or not.
Technically this was the third time he won, but that's another story.
Yeah, come on. Well, you see what I'm saying? He definitely
the first one though, I don't think whenever he was running for the first time in 2016, there's no reason to even run on Epstein. And really, there's just no reason because he's doing everything he can just to show that he's going to be worth being even a president. Nobody even thought he could fucking be a president back then.
Yeah, but he talked about draining the swamp in the first
Yes, he did. But I mean, was Epstein the swamp in DC at the time? No, I mean,
I guarantee if he got his hands on that and seen it, he was like, oh.
What's that?
But Trump.
If he got his hands on and seen what?
The Epstein files and all that stuff, like what all was going on with Epstein.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to see that until after he became president.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what so he had no reason to run on Epstein in his first one is what I'm saying. And then once he gets in office, he had so much shit to deal with because, I mean, they went after him. And I'm not taking up for him. I'm just saying he was getting hit with a lot of shit. He had no idea what he was doing as a president. He didn't.
Okay. Well, he ran on JFK, MLK. He ran on all that stuff the second one. Yes. And he released the JFK and the MLK, and there wasn't crap in there.
There wasn't nothing in there that we could see.
There was nothing that made, it was redacted and nothing that changed the narrative of what actually happened.
Yeah.
So all the conspiracy theories that have been going on, including, why don't you run on the moon landing? Did that really happen? They'd redact it too, Brian. That's what I'm getting at. It's just stop. I don't want to hear that crap no more. If I have another politician running like that, I ain't voting for him.
The difference, I think, between the Epstein files and the moon landing and JFK and all, JFK and MLK, there's a lot to be said there.
It's because it's kids.
It's kids. And there's so many people involved, you know, not to say there wasn't many people involved in JFK and all, but we're going to get to there. So,
right.
I'm going to take this in a different area into a different direction in how I'm looking at it. And so just give me a minute.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
So if you voted for Trump, you don't understand why he would make statements like this. I don't understand it, you know. And if you're not a Trump supporter, I mean, you believe he's the devil and he was Epstein's biggest supporter. I mean, that's just the two ways you got it, you know. Now, while I support Trump, I don't support this slow roll of these files. And from what they said, there's still millions of files or documents out there. We talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't know any man that is without sin. However, could Trump be pressured by higher powers to stay away from the Epstein files? And the reason I say this, Bibi Netanyahu visited Trump again this past week in DC. He's been here 7 times, 13 months. Is this a coincidence? This many visits to the president is just out of the ordinary. So to put this in perspective, while close allies and partners such as prime ministers from the UK or Canada have occasionally met U.S. presidents multiple times in a single year, typically 2 to 4 during periods of intense diplomacy, alliances, or crises like World War II or the Gulf War, no foreign leader in available historical records has met a U.S. president 7 times in such a short period. This frequency exceeds even the busiest years for leaders like Winston Churchill, who met Franklin Delano Roosevelt up to 3 times annually during World War II, or more recent examples during trade negotiations or security alliances. Looking at the historical numbers, the average is 3 to 4 visits a year. No records show 5+ in a year for any leader prior to Netanyahu's current pace of visits. So you also add, this is something else I found, you add that there's only one race or religion exclusively protected under specific U.S. law, and that is the Jewish faith, which is protected under the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which was passed in May of 2024. But why? Why are the Jews and the Jewish faith? Now, they do have civil rights laws, which covers everyone. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that races and ethnicities aren't protected, but this one is written just for a specific race. And there's no other laws that I found that are written for a specific race or religion. So how does Israel link with the Epstein files?
Wasn't Epstein supposedly a spy for Israel?
From what they said, that they think he worked with Mossad.
I mean, he's a Jew.
Yes. Well, let's go into this a little further. So we talked about the Rothschilds, right? So this is Candace Owens telling us a little bit about who Epstein works for.
The emails drop, and Jeffrey Epstein, who worked on behalf of the Rothschilds, according to him, he wrote that in an email, the Rothschilds, who credit themselves with having created which nation state? Oh, right, Israel. Israel, the same nation state that is having a bunch of women say that they were ritualistically abused in a forest by rabbis. That's happening in the Knesset right now, that nation state, saying that they were 3, 4 years old when this happened. He's saying, those are my bosses, the Rothschilds. And here is a brief, but by no means an extensive coverage, video that was put together by, I assume this guy must be Goy, right? Goy? Is he Goy? TikToker Contrarian put this together. Take a listen.
Israel is mentioned twice as much as Donald Trump in the new documents. Here he is discussing with Roger Schank, a Jewish American academic and hedge fund worker, saying Jews create vast fortunes by manipulating markets and creating financial speculation and exploiting labor. He says, let the Goyim deal in the real world. In a discussion with the Rothschild family, Epstein says if they overthrew the Ukrainian government, there would be great opportunities. The Rothschild family paid Epstein $25 million for certain algorithms. While talking to Peggy Seigel, August 7th of 2010, she asks if an event is going to be 100% Jewish. He says no, they'll have Goyim in abundance. But don't worry, they're just brilliant wasps from JP Morgan. Joshua Finkelstein, BlackRock's Larry Finkelstein's son, is accused of not having any respect for non-Jews, seeing them as not human. This is from his ex-girlfriend, Svetlana. He pressures her to have an abortion. In 2017, Epstein has a conversation talking about if you want to hire the best people, you have to hire only Jews. Only hire those who can prove they are genetically Jewish. Maria Farmer, one of the first victims to come out and name Epstein.
I wasn't allowed to go get food. And when I called Ghislaine and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else's.
Said that their operation was motivated by Jewish supremacy.
Anybody gonna say that that's not real anymore?
And man, I looked into a lot of that Jew hate stuff, and I didn't realize how much they think that they're so much better than other people. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I actually listened to one guy. He's telling a story. It's a biblical story that he's telling, but he's talking about the Jews, and he's saying how they're asking, how much how you would view a Jew, and he said whatever it is in the Bible, whatever they're reading, if you go down to the river to get clean water, the water that you're carrying in the bucket is the Jewish faith, and the dude that's dripping off the bottom of it basically is everyone else. I mean, that is just fucked up. I would have never thought that about these people. So that caught me off guard. And for those of y'all that don't know, if you don't know the Rothschild family, it's a well-known Jewish banking dynasty that pretty much owns the world. I mean, well, let's just say there's speculation that they own the world. And here's a shortcut. This one's explains how the Rothschilds and who really controls the world.
Who are these faceless people that we don't know about that have more power than the leader of the free world? Who are they?
We're talking about the elite oligarchs, less than 100 families that control everything you hear, see, smell, touch, what you can say, what you can't say, where you can go, what invisible line on the planet you can cross, what invisible line you can't cross. Those are the people that dominate and control the banking systems around the entire planet. That one family's worth about $700 trillion. They control a lot of the pharmaceuticals, through the Rockefeller
Foundation.
Foundation.
700 trillion? Who's the one family?
The Rothschilds are worth $700 trillion.
I don't even think there's that much currency in the world.
So they control all the central banks along with their partner Rockefeller. They have Rockefeller Foundation has access to a huge part of the pharmaceutical industry, and they've made a lot of money. But there's people along the same level that they're at that also have these powers. The Council of Foreign Relations and all these different groups that exist to help cultivate and create the rules and laws that they want to see executed on this planet. The governments are supposed to work for us. We are the people that are supposed to control the governments. And they flipped it and they have it where we have to listen to them and that they control us when it's supposed to be the opposite way around.
So is it possible that the Trump administration's getting some pressure put on them and that's why they slow rolling some of these?
We talked about that, Brian. Even if he tried to come in there with his lone wolf mentality that I'm not bought out, I'm at 700 trillion to buy you.
And, well, even if it doesn't buy you as your soul, it will put you in a position to where, hey, look, this is
you
what
better
we're going to
protect
do.
yourself. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But people don't want to hear that.
No, I still believe that Charlie Kirk was a dog whistle for everyone to say, hey, look, get in line because, we can reach out and touch you. I still believe that.
Yeah, I think he maybe was fixing to let some stuff loose and they knew it and they took him out. It wasn't no there wasn't no angry far leftists up on a rooftop with a 30-06. We'll just get that out there again.
Yeah, no.
Anybody that uses weapons knows a 30-06 would have took that dude's head off.
So I plan to go into Israel and the Jewish faith in another show, but for now, I'm going to keep Israel just based on the Epstein thing. But there's a lot of shit with Israel, man. A lot of shit. And maybe this explains why Epstein has access to the richest and most powerful people in the world. Because, for a criminal, a dude had some serious access. And it was said that, you had to be in Epstein Club or if you had to be part of the Epstein Club to be in the elitist circle. And I don't know if you know a lot about politics, but Lindsey Graham. That has to be the sleaziest. Every time I hear his name, I can just hear him crying because it seems like every time he's talking, he's fucking crying. But he got to be the sleaziest person, I think, that's in politics. Here's Tucker on Lindsey Graham in Israel.
He recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Why? Because if you got a problem with that, take it up with God. He's the guy that did it, not Trump. So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
So there are a couple things to notice about this that really tell you everything you need to about Lindsey Graham. First, and we left the context of, he's defending Donald Trump. He's saying, not defending, Trump is probably pretty popular in the room, but he's saying, remember, Trump's like a great president. Why is he great? Well, because he moved the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. What? Okay, you can make a case for it or not, but why should I care exactly? See, purely symbolic move. It has actual consequences internally in Israel, but it doesn't even pretend to improve your life. Graham didn't get up and say, he made prescription drugs cheaper. He could lower your health insurance, make it easier for your kids to buy a home. He got the cities under control. They're now safe. You can use the parks. He's improving the schools. You couldn't send your kids to public school. Now you can. You can use the emergency rooms again because he's deported 10 million illegal aliens who were hogging the space, which is where we currently are. No. The reason you should love Trump is because he moved the embassy, the U.S. embassy, in a foreign country from one city to another. Huh? Why does that matter? Well, Lindsey Graham explained why it matters. Because God commanded it. Oh, if you don't like that, take it up with God. So God, it turns out, and this may be in one of the non-canonical books in the scriptures, God wanted the U.S. State Department to move the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. I mean, it's like kind of a basic tenet of our faith. It may even be in the catechism. What?
Yeah. Y'all don't talk about that on Sundays.
No. No.
These people are so out of touch. Man, you can't make me believe that Israel don't have something on our people. I mean, they all owned by AIPAC. Remember the AIPAC guy? They all got an AIPAC guy.
Yep. And then that one Israel dude sitting there saying if anybody goes against us, they're not going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude was like, and they were like, well, he was like, hold up. Are you saying? And that dude was so cocky. He's that dude at work that thinks he's above the rules, that just shit comes out of his mouth. And you're like, did you just say that? What are they going to do? I'm their best employee.
We probably should look that dude up. He might not even be alive. He might have committed suicide.
Yeah. His brakes went out.
Not that that's funny, but I mean, that's the kind of shit that goes on these days. And that's why I think it's weird that Netanyahu's been visit with Trump so many times, and it's even more weird that they release all these 3 million documents and now Netanyahu has to come back again.
Right.
I mean, why? Why does he keep coming here? What is the thing? Does he just trying to get us to go to war with Iran? Is he trying to get to stop the Epstein? Is he just trying to do everything? It's like, look, this is how we're gonna run this shit. I don't know. But like I said, we're gonna go into Israel a little more. But here's Tucker now on Epstein.
I'm really almost overwhelmed by the cover-up of it and by the people I know who participated in that. And I'll just name two of them. One is Bill Barr, who's the two-time Republican Attorney General, whose father, by the way, started Jeffrey Epstein's career. His father, Donald Barr, was a former OSS CIA officer. In the files, I should also say that Jeffrey Epstein describes Bill Barr, the former AG, as, quote, CIA. Jeffrey Epstein privately says this guy's CIA. Bill Barr covered up Epstein's murder. He was clearly murdered in federal detention. Barr said out loud, we got to make sure everyone thinks this is a suicide. So why isn't he being asked about this? And the second is Mike Pompeo. And Mike Pompeo was caught plotting to murder Julian Assange, the head of WikiLeaks. Why is this significant? Well, because it was WikiLeaks that made that first tranche of emails available to the public. And it was Julian Assange who said on camera, basically said, my source, he didn't say this, he didn't say my source, but he heavily suggested in an interview with Dutch television, my source was Seth Rich, the DNC staffer who was found murdered on the street in Washington in a so-called robbery where nothing was taken from him. That investigation was taken over by the FBI. What? Why? And Assange goes on Dutch television and says, I can't say who my sources are, but they face great risks. You can pull up the interview right now and look at it. Mm-hmm. And then he points to Seth Rich. And the interviewer's like, wait, are you saying Seth Rich was murdered for this? And Assange is like, look, I can't tell you who my sources are, but my sources take great risks. Seth Rich just got murdered. I mean, that couldn't be clearer, right? It was right after that Julian Assange was incarcerated, first in an embassy in London and then in Belmarsh prison, never charged with a crime. And that was pushed by CIA and Mike Pompeo. And it's like, wait a second. Shouldn't someone ask Mike Pompeo? Like, what is this? What is this? These are real allegations, they're credible allegations, and rather than follow up, you're punishing the guy who brought them to light? Tell us how that works, Mike Pompeo.
You realize who Bill Barr is, right? He was the AG for Trump in his last administration. So why he didn't go after Epstein? Pompeo was also in his administration then. I mean, when I was saying that, he came in and he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't have the people around him to help him. That he just got people around him that other people put in place, and they wasn't there to help him.
No.
Now he has some pretty good people around him and should be helping him. But why aren't we seeing what? It don't make any sense. He has a team. He has a very good team, in this cabinet now.
Because the puppet master is pulling the strings, Brian.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that makes sense. That's the only thing that makes sense. But you sound crazy if you say that. You know what I'm getting at? It's no one wants to hear that. We all hear about a puppet master.
Okay, here's where it's weird, because when you got your normal politicians like Biden, Obama, Clinton, Bush Senior, Reagan, all these politicians, that's what it's like. It's like actors, right? Movie stars.
Yeah.
They play their roles. Trump is not a politician. He's a businessman. And that's why it seems weird. It's almost like kissing your cousin. Weird.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It looks weird. It looks weird as heck because he doesn't understand how to play that role to where you don't question if he's getting controlled or not, and he's just a politician.
Yeah.
Maybe Trump coming in there opened the eyes to a lot of us that there's somebody greater than the government pulling the strings. Is that fair to say?
I would hope that it did, because that would make it easier to talk about. Because soon
maybe
as
we kind of thought that, but now we really see it.
Well, why would you even have terms like puppet masters if there wasn't really puppet masters in the world?
Well, I mean, that black dude just said in that one thing, man, 700 trillion, that Rothschilds. I mean,
I don't know how you quantify that, but I'm pretty sure they got a lot,
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know where they come out. There's no way their true amount is released.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how you quantify
Everybody
it,
else's is, but theirs isn't.
I guess what he's saying is they owned everything in the world.
Yeah. Yes. They own the world. And how?
So, I mean, with all this now being discussed, how likely is it that the powers that be are the ones that controlling the release of the information on everything, not just Epstein files? There's a higher authority to saying, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. And that's the only reason I can see why we get these stupid answers. I hate to even say stupid because I don't think Trump's stupid, but these answers that he's given, about these files to me are just stupid. It doesn't pass the smell test, kind of like when we talk about Eric. It just don't. I mean, to the average American, it just doesn't sound right. This is not the guy we voted for.
Right.
This is not the guy with the mean tweet. So when I was listening to an interview with Rocano and Sean Ryan, and one thing he suggested during the interview was, to start bringing people in and put them under oath. And what he said was pretty good logic, because he's saying, all right, so if you bring 100 people in, and some of them will tell truth, some will tell half truth, some people are just going to lie, so you might not get the full answer when you bring them all in and have them talk under oath, but they will start contradicting themselves. And that's what you start looking at, the contradictions. And I mean, to me, that made a lot of sense, because now you have the contradictions of these accounts. That's ones you focus on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I thought that was a great approach. And I was like, man, again, I don't like Rocana, but it seemed like a pretty simple suggestion. Let's just they got 100 people in these files that's just listed in the files. Bring them in. It doesn't matter what they did. If their name's in there, bring them in. Let's talk to them. What's wrong with doing that? You're not saying they're guilty or not. You talk to them, see what's going on. They might give you another name. You collaborate that with some other store, and you figure this shit out. It's pretty fucking easy, until it ain't. And then I was also watching Ian Carroll. Do you follow Ian Carroll?
If you played them, I'd probably
Okay.
see these people. I don't like the black, the young black kid that was the wide receiver for
Yeah.
Oklahoma. I see him all the time. I just don't remember his name.
Well, Ian
But
Carroll,
he's really good. I like everything he puts out.
yeah,
He's so
Ian
well
Carroll,
spoken.
he goes down the rabbit hole. He's the one that he went to the grocery store. The first early videos I seen of him, he went to the grocery store and he's showing you how everything pretty much on the grocery, you have no options. That you think you have is an illusion,
Right.
because the same companies own everything, and he's pretty much showing all that. Well, he goes down a lot of rabbit holes, a lot of thought provoking things, and
See the one
he-
showing the weights aren't even right on the stuff we're buying?
he might be. He does a lot, but right
Okay.
now what he did is he worked on an app that's gonna go through the Epstein files, and it'll pull out whatever you're looking for, and it'll separate it, and it'll pull all of it out just out of the files themselves. Because he's saying right now you have to go in and you search a file, and it just opens that file, and you got to search that one, and it says real time consuming. So he's creating this, and he's going to let everybody use it. He's also doing one that he did one that he's working on with Charlie Kirk, to where it would pull all the videos from YouTube and all, and it would just put them in order, and you can see them all. So you can try to figure all this shit out. But here he is talking on why there's a cover up.
Kash Patel's been telling us there are no co-conspirators. There is no organization. It was just him alone. But we've got a document saying that they had 10 co-conspirators, one of whom was Leslie Wexner. The list is long. Like, there's pilots. We know their names. Larry Visosky. There's 3 different pilots. There's a bunch of other madams like Ghislaine Maxwell, assistants that were helping to recruit girls. There's a bunch of other people that were trafficking models and bringing models in and out. There's an enormously long list of people in various roles all around Epstein that we know full well were, at the very least, deeply suspiciously involved, where they should be asked some very serious questions. And they keep on giving us this line, well, we've got emails, but it's not illegal to party with Jeffrey Epstein. And it's like, we're asking you to investigate all of the myriad suspicious things that are documented here in these files and emails. And instead of getting investigation, we're getting what looks like cover-up, denial, distraction. And it kind of makes you wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, why aren't these people being investigated?
Well, we said, Brian, the implications of it. We don't get to make decisions, Brian. We're too stupid.
Yeah, we are. We don't even, that's not even the worst part.
We're the children. We're the children in the house. We don't get, like, we want something, but the parent says, no, we know you want that, but it's not good for you.
Well, I think you could even take it a step further. It's not even so much that we can't handle the truth. It's not even for us to make a decision. Don't worry about it. You're not mature enough to be able to handle this.
That's right.
This is grown up shit,
Right. Let the grown-ups do the grown-up thing. You're a kid. Go over there in the corner and play.
Yeah, now give
Go
me
back to work.
75%.
Go back to work and shut up. Make us some money.
That's it. That's basically the way it is.
Carnegie's going to rewrite their damn school system again because we're starting to get too smart.
Quit looking over here. Hey, did you
Yeah.
not look at the halftime show? Why y'all still talking about the Epstein file? Did you not see the halftime show? We had Bad
What about
Bunny.
the Dow? Did you not see the Dow today?
Did you
Brian?
not see the Dow?
Dang. It's up 50,000. 50,000, Brian.
And you know how good that is for people?
Gosh. The S&P.
Well,
or whatever
remember
the hell
that,
that is.
because I'm going to show you in a little while about where all the money's made in this country, and then remember the Dow.
All right.
But right now, so
The Rothschilds had probably jacked the Dow up to make Trump look good so he can use it as a, hey, did you look at the Dow?
No, I doubt they even invest in that. They like.
I guarantee they control it.
Oh, they control everything. I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Maybe
They're
money
like-
don't even exist, Brian. Did you ever think of that?
They're the bookies of Wall Street and all the other stock trades throughout the world, I'd imagine. They're the bookie version of that. They're the ones
Yeah.
holding all the cards for it.
Does money even exist?
As far as like U.S. dollars or
no, does any money even exist?
No,
With people that rich, does our money even exist?
Well, I never
that
really
could be
thought.
a false narrative that they're giving us, Ryan, for us to chase after that's not even there.
No, see, because when you think of it, it depends on how you look at it as money. If you're looking at it as money as a legal tender or something that you can trade to get other products, yes, it does exist. Does wealth exist for people like us? No, but
No,
I mean, money could be anything. Money could
I feel like I'm in the Truman story or the Truman Show, the movie, the Truman Show.
I haven't
Everything's
seen
just, oh my gosh.
I just watch a whole lot. I watch like short sitcom. That's what I had time to watch. I didn't have time to sit down and watch movies.
Okay, well, take time and watch the Truman Show. And then we can have that conversation. And then maybe you'll probably do a segment on it.
Maybe so.
I'm telling you, yeah, because it makes a whole lot of sense that this is just a screenplay for all of us.
Probably is. It's good. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say it's not. I think we have a lot of things that I've read and have seen so far in the last 4 months of us doing this. And a lot of stuff I don't even bring to light because it just seems crazy. But I believe there's more actors in this country than we actually know. And when I say more actors, I'm talking about like in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much as actually, in Hollywood. I think we have a lot of people that's playing roles in everyday life that's affecting a lot of things. All right, so this is Ro Khanna. He was on the Sean Ryan show. I have a couple clips from the Sean Ryan show, and this is on who is protecting the Epstein files.
You hear, see on social, anything once those files released. Was it every single person in Congress that voted for it to release them? And was there every single person in the Senate except one person?
Everyone in the House except one.
Everyone in the House except
and
one.
Every senator. But I got to give credit not just to Massey's courage, because he's got billionaires funding against him, and the billionaires don't like me these days either. I mean, you go after the Epstein class, you make a lot of enemies. Look at my ex, and you see the people who go after Massey and me. But it wasn't just Massey and me. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and Nancy Mace stuck their neck out to sign a discharge petition that the two of us had to force a vote on it. They got bullied by the White House. They got bullied by the Speaker. They got threatened. Their political careers were threatened. Marjorie Taylor Greene lost her seat, gave up her seat in Congress over this.
Yeah, didn't the president tell her? What did he tell her?
He told her that she's betraying him. Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene was for Donald Trump when he came down the escalator. She was with Donald Trump when he ran in 2020 and lost. She was with Donald Trump when he said the election was stolen. I disagree with her, but she was out there defending it. She was with Donald Trump in 2024 when DeSantis and others were talking about running against him. No one had been more loyal to Donald Trump. And when she joined the petition, she says, Ro, I'm going to explain to Trump that he actually can be a hero. He's going to come on board. I'm telling you, he's going to come on board. She said, Trump says to him, well, you're hurting some of my friends. This is not the right thing. You're hurting people. How about hurting the survivors? How about hurting the women?
Yeah, how about the fucking kids?
It's girls.
Kids hurting your friends? Gives a shit about your fucking friends? We give a fuck about kids.
And these are working class girls. I wish people could see their stories and how they were exploited. It's a class issue. Rich, powerful people connected to politicians figuring out, well, who's vulnerable? Who doesn't have a father? Who doesn't have a lot of money? How do we get that girl to start with giving us massages? You know what the saddest thing that I heard from a survivor? They were saying that the survivors are guilty because the survivors were actually recruiters of aiding and abetting other girls in getting raped or getting abused. So one of the survivors says, yeah, I did that. You know why I did that? Because I was so afraid that I was going to be abused that I went and I got other junior high girls and other high school girls to take my place because I didn't want to be abused.
Junior high girls.
Junior high girls.
Junior high girls, and we can't release the files. Before we move on, and we just both get pissed off both sides of what we're doing, I just
can't release those files.
Can't release them.
Got to protect my friends. You know, make my friends look bad. That's what you were saying earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one of them said that, and
Yeah.
then, and I'm sure these other ones, the politicians, aren't getting involved because you know they don't want to mess up their $1 billion donors. You know, these people are fucking evil, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the people that represent. All they want to do is stay in power. I mean, that's what they have now. I mean, I even hate to say it, they fucking power.
Right.
It's time to burn this motherfucker down.
That's what we want, but it's not going to happen, Brian. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Unless you get one of them cronies up there to get a little bit of Jesus in their heart and do the right thing and just, you know, put it all out on the line and say, you know what? I value the truth over my life and just let it rip, tater chip, then it's nothing will ever happen, but everybody, the world will know.
Well,
the common person will know what happened.
I think if you got enough politicians just to join up, you're not going to kill all of them. I mean, if you do kill all of them and people don't wake up and see the fuck what's going on, I mean, we're done anyway. You know, we just soon all bend over and just fucking take the fucking.
Then, yeah, I know. Then maybe it comes down to that, where they got underground bunkers or something. They go to it and they launch nukes and boom, take us all out. Okay, you wanna end this? We'll end it because you guys aren't prepared. We are. We had contingency plans for this. Guess what? We're gonna go down low. We're gonna set it all off, and we can survive for our generation. Could just. I'm telling you,
I don't want to survive something like that.
I don't either. I'm saying
I would run towards the blast. Honestly.
Right. We just don't think that anybody's above doing something like that. But
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
They could end it all. You're going to end me. Guess what? We're ending it all right now. We're ending you guys, not us. Our elite status will survive. You won't.
So do you want to live in an apocalyptic world?
No, I don't. What I'm getting at, though, is they'll reset the world as we know it. We're saying burn it down. They're like, okay, we'll do that. We'll reset everything. We'll get rid of all you idiots and we'll start out from scratch again. We'll get rid of all you people that couldn't just get on board and do what we asked you to do. Just go to work, pay your taxes.
Slaves.
Stop questioning and just mind your own damn business. But no, y'all had to be smart. You had to try to figure all this stuff out. Guess what? We'll reset it all. And then we'll create more people and we'll learn better next time.
Yeah. The same people that's probably been running the world since forever, huh?
Yeah, you think with this kind of money, you think these people ain't got something that they can go down to?
Well, it's not even that. I mean, there comes a point to where, yes, all right, let's say you decide you're going to blow up the world. If you actually use nuclear weapons, that ground's not going to be worth shit anyway. So you would have to hit so many different sites, you know, to actually take it all out. So
then what about these labs and stuff like that Chinese dude or whatever they found over in California with that makeshift lab in his house? I'm saying, what if it was disease?
I would get disease, yeah.
Okay, then wipe everybody out, right? That doesn't have an antidote for it, and it's not.
No, I'm laughing because we checking off the list. Yeah, if y'all going to kill us, don't do it with nuclear because then you won't be able to grow food. Just give us disease.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, 5-10 years ago, dude, I would sit there and be checking myself in an asylum thinking like this.
Oh, me too. That's why I hate to even talk about it because it just sounds fucking crazy.
Like conspiracy, but don't put it above these people to do that.
I'm not against it, dude. I understand what you're saying, but no, I totally get it. I feel like, man, this is
two movies I want anybody, including you and anybody else that hasn't watched them: The Truman Story, and then In Time with Justin Timberlake. INTIME. Write those down and watch them. because I'm telling you, it'll kind of put a little thought on how we are or how they think we are. But anyways, continue on there.
Continue on.
Yes.
Well, this is Sean Ryan. Let's see what he thinks. Well, not what he thinks, who he thinks is holding up these Epstein files.
I think it's Israel. I think Israel, Mossad is holding this shit back. That's what I think. Have you seen anything that any context here that might make you believe that in the recent, the last 6 months, last year?
Like I've said, I have reason to believe that foreign governments were involved, and that the names that have come up have been Russia and Israel. What the level of involvement, I have no idea. But there's some force more powerful than just campaign donors involved in covering this up, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why they're fighting so hard to keep these files. Like, you can say a lot of things about Donald Trump. He understands politics. He don't get elected president twice. He knows this thing is hurting him. It's the one issue that is hurting him amongst his base. So why wouldn't he just get the files out? Yeah. And that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying. Like, this thing was never about trying to go after Trump. And there's actually no evidence that I've seen that he was involved in the abuse of underage girls. We haven't seen any evidence of that. There are other rich and powerful men. So why, if you're the president, wouldn't you just say, okay, like, get it out there? I don't get it. There's some force bigger than that is holding back us getting to the truth. And that's what should be disturbing to Americans, other than that, like, our culture needs a moral reckoning that we allow this to happen. What are the forces that are preventing us from doing this? And are we going to get people actually willing to stand up to it?
I mean, it seems like you got a lot of people standing up to it. I mean, I don't know what else everybody can do, but everybody's screaming it. I don't know anybody that's not screaming at the top of their lungs, release these damn files.
He's saying everything. He's saying everything we're saying. There's a higher entity, not God. Please, people, don't say that. But there's a higher entity above our government that is holding this back.
Yeah, and that's
Trump's scared of it. Trump is scared of it.
Yeah, I think everyone has to be scared of it. And the only way you can't be is if you have enough people to back it. And if everything what they said is true, I mean, they own the world. What are you going to do? Again, I don't even think we're a pawn.
No.
I don't know. I don't think there's I don't even know if you can get everyone even to. Oh, I'm not even going to say I know you can't get everyone. You can't get everybody to agree on a fucking Super Bowl halftime show. You think we could get them to agree that, hey, look, we need to do something to change our country? We need to make our country a little better.
Well, once again, man, I think they're playing 100%. Brian, they probably played the NFL to do that.
They doing everything they can to keep us divided, if that's what you're trying to say.
It ain't the government doing it. It's the government's the one pulling the trigger, but it's the puppet master telling them where to shoot.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because they're all, at the end of the day, it's all a dollar. And that's what they're all driven by that dollar. Well,
the puppet master doesn't want to see us all come together. That's not going to be a good thing, because then you're going to make us do what we don't want to do. You're going to make us reset this thing.
Yep. Yeah, and they can't have that. And when I say come together, I mean, I'm talking about the whole world eventually, but I mean, if we can just
come together as the United States of America.
Something. I mean, I can't understand. I can't just fathom how we so out of touch with each other.
It's like people being so offended by Make America Great Again. Why would you not be on board with that, no matter what your affiliation is? Do you not want your country to be great?
I think everything I hear is because when was it great before? What era are you trying to go back? So they're trying to throw shade in your face on, where were you trying to go back to slavery? Was that when it was great? When our
dollar was, when our currency was good, when our gas prices were low, when
But there was
When-
always a somebody that was suffering, and I guess that's what they're getting at. No matter where we go back in history, they don't want to look at the whole.
That's
no matter
that's your paid agitators doing that, Brian.
Oh yeah, I
So,
agree with you. I
yeah.
agree with you, and
That-
that's what they'll.
The
No matter what,
Rothschilds are paying them.
yeah, and it probably. Well, you don't have to pay them well. I mean, compared to what they normally have.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a fucked up world, man. And the more you dig in it, the worse it gets. And I'm glad that I don't get emotionally involved in a lot of this stuff, because this could really wreck somebody's mind. It really could.
No,
the more
I
you
just
dig
go
in
back
this,
to work tomorrow night and forget I
yeah.
listen to this, but I'm not going to stew on it. I'll just go on about doing my projects, and
But some people, it
we'll
just
be back at it next Saturday.
the people. Or let me put it this way: the people that
Friday,
you see
but-
arguing on social media about this stuff, it wrecks their mind.
Right.
Because they getting just case in point of the NFL. They're
Yeah.
just as far behind, whether they're red or blue, as
Right.
if they were a Chicago Bears fan or a Saints fan. In
Right.
their mind, they have to be part of something, or they're not part of anything. So they have to choose a side. And you know what? I think this all started with that fucking that vampire movie where you had to choose this dude or this dude. And ever since then, we've been fucked up. We've
What,
been fucked up
Twilight?
before that.
Oh yeah, where you had to choose, the werewolf or the vampire. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to be team so and so or team so and so.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they done fucked it all up.
Yeah.
Here's Thomas Massey questioning Pam Bondi last week on this Epstein oversight.
To my right is an email that was sent by the victim's lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact, a list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name and you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there. The next document I want to show you, that was in the title, the victims' survivors' names, all right? The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking. Co-conspirators, fully redacted. And by the way, I'm going to unredact them here. Les Wexner is in this. Now, your your deputy attorney general said, oh, well, he appears hundreds of times in the files, but he doesn't appear in this file until I forced you to release it, where he's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax evasion, but to child sex trafficking, not to prostitution, not to money laundering, child sex trafficking. And then finally, what we have here is the third exhibit that I have is emblematic of the FD 302 release. These are the documents that we need that you're holding on to and over redacting because they have the names of the men who are implicated. How do we know? Because the survivors gave testimony to the FBI, and it's in there. And what happens when you go to the portal at the DOJ to look at what's behind this redaction? Another redaction. So we can't even see them. And then there's some of these files you've pulled down from the website that we will never see because we can't search the redactions. So I have several questions for you. Who's responsible? Are you able to track who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document? Do you have that kind of accountability?
I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a co-conspirator.
Can I finish my answer? Come on, let me finish my answer. We corrected that within 40 minutes. He was already, you're acting like everybody's trying to cover up Wexner's name.
Reclaiming my time.
I'm going to answer this question.
Reclaiming my time. Mr. Chairman.
This is how this works.
Can I have my time back? Mr. Chairman.
The gentlelady can give her answer. The time belongs to the gentleman from Kentucky.
All right, I'm reclaiming my time.
Can I give my answer?
So I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Chairman,
Because
may I
have
give
another
my answer
question.
on that?
Here's
It's a political
the question.
joke, and I need to give my answer
Yeah,
on that.
we'll let the Attorney General respond, and then the gentleman can move to his
Chairman,
next question.
it's my time.
Within 40
Chairman.
minutes, you asked me a question.
You can
Within
give me-
40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
Red-handed, there was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
and
Okay.
we invited
what?
you
Show the video.
in. This
Show
guy
the-
has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs
Show
to.
the
You're a failed politician.
Gentlemen,
You need to
I
go
want you to
on
watch
these
the
matters.
video.
Mr. Chairman, please restore his time and remind the witness of the
Himself,
rules here.
there is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals.
Is that your position as well?
My position is any victim who comes forward, of course, we would love to hear from them. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I'm reclaiming my time. I'm glad you're asking about Merrick Garland.
You don't get to reclaim
because
time
this
when
is
you don't-
bigger than
when you can't-
Watergate.
when I don't answer a question the
This
way you
goes
want.
over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
Now,
where the
I want to
most
know at what
transparent-
point did the FBI and the DOJ decide that Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it back on the screen, please, to release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not, and it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men.
Time of the
And they saying that Cash might have what you call perjured himself with this stuff.
Right.
It's basically because there was no co-conspirators and no Wes Wessler or whatever his name is now
Well, and
listed as a co.
Yeah, and he said if there was anything they thought he was doing, that they would have already had him.
Yeah. So I mean,
dude? I know just keeping your mouth shut's just as guilty as saying something sometimes, but dang, just stop. Because if somebody does release this, Bryan, if somebody just says, you know what, I don't care, takes that nesty plunge and just let it fall where it falls. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because lawlessness, dude, this is going to create lawlessness because if people aren't held accountable for this stuff, and Kash Patel was lying under oath and Pam Bondi was lying under oath, and then they're not held responsible, then how can they hold me responsible for crimes I make?
Is that how we get to the purge?
I guess.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, I agree with you. If they not held responsible, why the fuck do we have to follow the law?
Yeah. Just like that Billy Elshie saying you can't be illegal on stolen ground. Well, I still got to pay property tax on stolen ground.
Yeah, and laws only work as long as the majority of the people oppose, they go by the law. If
Right.
the majority of people decide they're not going to follow the law anymore, then nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I just don't understand how we be held accountable for laws that our own government isn't being held accountable for the same. It's kind of like police officers that drive around speeding all the time.
Yeah.
With no lights on. But then they want to pull me over for 5 over, but they're doing like 15, 20 over all the time because they can. I mean, it's that same mentality that I don't agree with. I mean, don't break the law of something you're going to hold somebody else accountable for, right? So,
yeah, don't be a hypocrite.
That's right. I love
Well,
hypocrites.
I got a little video that's going to go over a little overview of what's in the Epstein files, and it goes pretty deep. This one is not as bad as a lot of the other ones I found, but this will give you just a little bit of what they're looking at.
This is going to be a comprehensive overview of everything that's been dropped in the files thus far, so prepare yourself for some pretty graphic details. The ritualistic abuse and sacrifice of young children. We have Prince Andrew torturing and raping women to death. We have Jeffrey Epstein saying how Jews use and manipulate academic institutions. and large markets to take money from the Goyim while the Goyim are left to slave away in the real world. You have Trump being allegedly in the files, forcing himself on young underage women. You have Bush with his ritualistic sacrifice, cutting people's feet and sacrificing them to some demonic god. You have Jeffrey Epstein's bank account being named Baal, the ritual god of human sacrifice. We have elites on both sides participating in cannibalism, ripping out children's organs and eating them after filling them with feces. Countless references to Pizzagate in very graphic messages talking about pizza, how it tastes, how to eat it, all these kind of things that it's obviously not about pizza. We have the creation of 4chan and Reddit to promote and push out psyops, the admittance to what happened in Libya. We have trash talk on Zelensky saying that he's a cokehead and he's completely run entirely by Israel. Elon Musk, who wanted to get on the island but couldn't get on the island, so they just didn't let him on. Epstein being blocked from Xbox. We have Bill Gates getting an STD from a Russian prostitute and then giving it to his wife, needing Epstein to help him out. We have Bush and Clinton both raping people who are boys and girls, presumably many more, but many names are redacted. You have the systematic raping of girls, forcing them into pregnancy, making them go to full term, and then sacrificing their children. Mentions of adrenochrome. This is after only being out for a day or two. I'm going to keep digging into these files probably over the next week or so. So follow if you want to stay updated. I will continue to put out everything that I find, reporting on the truth, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, I will bring it to you. And then after I dig through all the files, I will do my best to come up with some sort of actionable thing that, as an American citizen, you can actually do.
And yeah, that's just a little bit of what they got in there. It's pretty disgusting the more and more you read into it.
Right.
So the amount of stuff with the kids, and my man, I remember you saying something about little kids, but I was trying to think where the little kids come from, and it comes from the victims, from what I was reading. They're impregnating these kids, and these little girls, teenagers, are having these kids, and then yeah, it's pretty messed up. And
Yep.
if you're still questioning Pizzagate, this is something I found out. I keep going back and forth with Pizzagate. It's just there's too many references to pizza, even in this shit. In this one, it's how many grown men are sending emails about pizza to each other, pizza and grape soda. That just does not make sense. The context does not make sense whenever you're talking about just. I don't give a shit who you are, just grown ass men emailing each other about pizza and grape soda. And then I ran across this video that I'm going to show you of Diddy talking about pizza while he was in the jail. Listen how crazy this conversation is. I think it starts off with Ellen first, but
is anybody hungry? I just feel like everybody's got to be hungry right now. Good. I was hoping you'd say that because I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza?
I need you to get rid of leftover pizza boxes. You know what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Bob. He ghosting.
that ain't shady as shit.
He's into recycling, dude. Come on, man.
I mean, there's something with pizza. You can call me crazy. You can call me a conspiracy nut. You can call me whatever you want. There's something with pizza. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, this stuff's all it's deep, dude. It's thick. It's deep.
Oh, there's so many layers.
Like an onion don't even come close to how many layers is
no.
on this sucker.
And then let's talk about the Clintons.
Yeah.
Why
are they?
Trump-
Why are they all of a sudden ready to testify? And they want cameras. They want it out to the public.
I don't know.
And why is Trump taking up for him?
That's my whole thing. Is why is Trump being so nice to him? I mean, they tried to destroy this man. Let me be nice to him. I think I actually have something on that one. Hold on a second.
Even this question about the Clintons testifying, which is an accountability measure. Oh, well, now, my ears, I can't believe it.
Republicans don't want to humiliate Bill and Hillary Clinton in public? Since when is that the case? And now President Trump is saying nice things about them. Clearly, he's petrified of what they may say. And so there's like this conspiracy of silence all around Washington and in the power centers across the board. And that's why we're not seeing the calls for accountability. And I think the problem that is that there are millions of pages in black and white. This is not going away. We may very well be looking at this for years to come. And so accountability, that still is yet to be seen in the United States.
Yeah, that's still yet to be seen in the United States. Hell, we ain't even started an investigation yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be interested in what the Clintons had to say. I'd like to see that live, or they can put that at, I'd like to see that brief. You wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear what they have to say. Not going to say I believe it.
Well, no, I mean, but they'll be under oath.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, if they don't believe it or not, I mean, maybe they can get them for perjury or something. But
Yeah, come on, man. We were just talking about that with Cash Patel. Come on,
well,
dude.
no. So let's think about the theory that I said that, the young guys in the Democratic Party are willing to throw the old people under the bus and get rid of them. Let's just say that is the case. And
Okay.
Hillary and Bill, they got some skeletons in their closets, and they know these motherfuckers are going to come out with their claws out and to take them out, the younger Democrats. And they subpoena you, and you're like, man, fuck that. I'm not going. Then they subpoena you again, and they said they're going to hold you in contempt. Oh, you going to hold me in contempt? All right. Yeah, I want everybody there. Let's talk about this shit. Maybe they the ones that saying, let's burn this shit down. No? You don't think they're going to call that kind of heat on themselves?
No, I don't think so.
Probably not. Yeah, because I just don't understand.
Unless they're part of that reset button. No, I don't think so.
I don't understand why Trump's being nice to him. I mean, is there something that they're going to say that he doesn't like, doesn't want them to say? Or
I don't know.
I don't know. None of the shit makes sense, dude. None of it. Either he is Gandhi and is just willing
He's not
to forgive
Gandhi,
everyone.
Brian. We know something's going on. I mean, we just know. Stop trying to make the dude sound like he had a change of heart. He just, I went to church and they talked about forgiveness and love thy neighbor. And yeah, see, Andy Brashear's trying to use that for
love thy neighbor?
Yeah, for promoting homosexuality in the church and all that. I mean, the Bible speaks against it. I'm not judging. That's God. That's not me. I didn't make that rule. I'm not God. And I'm going to love you and love on you the best I can. And I've got my sins. You got your sins, but don't promote that in the good book there, Andy. Stop trying to rewrite the scripture. And scripture is what scripture is. And I'm guilty of messing up. You know what I'm saying? Going against some of the scriptures myself.
And that's y'all governor?
Yeah.
Andy Brashear? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Andy Dandy.
All right. So I think we covered pretty much why nobody's being investigated, because it's just regardless of what you call it, it's basically a cabal of fucking assholes, that they're pretty much above the law. Right. His role kind of explaining that. Well, explaining this 2-tier justice system.
There's a 2-tier justice system.
Yeah.
And the elites and political elites do not fall under the same justice department that the rest of us do.
There are two Americas. There are 2 tiers of justice. If you're rich, if you're powerful, if you fund universities and nonprofits, you can do the most heinous things. Like, you can show up to an island where young girls are being raped and have no consequence.
I mean, so many people are involved. It's almost like it's a requirement to do that to get to the places that they are. That's how many fucking names are of powerful elites are in those damn files.
I was on a call yesterday and someone said basically a version of that. They said, you don't understand, Raul. You had to be part of this Epstein network to be in the club. And he said, I didn't go, but I was tempted to go because everyone in my peer group was going. And if you weren't part of this club, then you weren't part of elite society. And so you have basically a peer pressure to go to an island where people know that this guy's been a convicted pedophile because they went after he was convicted, and they know that young girls are being raped. I mean, and it's the elite in Hollywood, the elite in finance, the elite in Silicon Valley, the elite in politics. And you talk to the survivors and they say, we were told you can't call the police. You can't call the FBI because they know too many powerful people. So you've got an America where you've got two systems of justice, and people resent that. People like you go and fight for the country's values. You risk your life. And yet these elite folks are basically saying, yeah, we can go to an island where young girls are being raped and no one can touch us. And they never thought anything would come out, and we can make lewd jokes about it and laugh about it and fly to Davos, and life goes on. That's how they were living. And at the same time, people have the same thing on the economy in this country. Like, okay, all the power is in the hands of this few folks, and, you know, I'm struggling to make ends meet for my family. It's the same sense of a rigged America that has led to the kind of anger that we see.
What do you think is going to happen now?
It depends. I mean, it depends if people like you are going to continue to bang the drum. That's one of the reasons I'm here. What I'll tell you what these elite guys want to have happen. They want to do a kind of mea culpa. You know, have you seen their statements? I regret that I spent too much time with Epstein. I regret the judgment I showed to take a meeting with Epstein. I regret that I took his money. Not like I am ashamed and appalled that Epstein was raping young girls, and there were other people part of my network that were raping young girls. And let me just confess at what happened and who did this, right? It's like this lawyerly statement. So here's what their game plan is. I mean, their game plan is, let's put these things out. Let's hope Massey and Kana go away. You know, let them bang the drum for a few more months. Let this all fade. And then 2 years later, we're going to come back. We got too much money. They're going to want our money. They're going to want our scholarships, and we're going to be rehabilitated in society. That's their game plan. And the question for the country is, are we going to let them get away with it, or are we finally going to hold people accountable? In Britain, they're holding people accountable.
Yep. Are we going to hold them accountable?
Mm-hmm. Wonder why these other countries are doing that, though. I mean, if the puppet master runs the world, you think they'd be shutting it down everywhere?
Yeah, well, yeah. Why? Yeah, you're right. Maybe they just got a few more morals than we got.
I don't know. Maybe a majority of it's America and Israel.
Maybe so. Well, we're gonna go down that Israel rabbit hole, and I don't know how much you know about that place, but I tell you what, it is mind blowing the amount of power that they have for such a small group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Mind blowing. And one other thing I wanted to show before we get off of Epstein, because there's a lot to talk about with Epstein. But there was one thing was this temple, and I wasn't aware of the temple on the island. You?
No, I didn't know of a temple. I just knew of an island, but I heard they were sacrificing babies and stuff like that, and like doing like satanic rituals and crap like that.
That was all part of this temple. Let's check this shit out.
Why is no one talking about this? We argue about the flight logs, the names, the sealed files, but nobody asks the real question. Why was there a temple on Epstein Island? And it wasn't some quirky building or luxury decor. It looked like a place designed for ritual, a place meant for something specific. Out of every ancient figure it resembles, the name most associated with that imagery is Moloch, a deity linked for thousands of years to sacrifice, power, and secrecy. So ask yourself, out of every symbol in existence, why build that? People get lost in celebrity headlines. People get distracted by politics. Meanwhile, private jets were landing there, not for the beach, not for the view, but for that building. Because whatever that structure was, it didn't look like a getaway. It looked like a shrine. And here's what most people don't realize. The iconography connected to Moloch, the bull symbolism, the ritual alignment, it echoes the same ancient patterns tied to the red heifer rites. Older than Epstein, older than the island, older than every name on that flight list. So when the next files drop, and everyone pretends to be shocked, remember this. The truth wasn't hidden. It was sitting in plain sight. The island wasn't just a crime scene. It was a message. And everyone who walked inside that temple knew exactly what they were honoring.
They're all just evil.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any other way to around that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why anybody would do any of that. I just can't wrap my head around that, and it doesn't make any sense to a normal man with any morals. But this week I was listening to Jim Brewer. I don't know if you know who Jim Brewer is, a comedian. He was in Half Baked. You ever watched Half Baked?
Mm-hmm.
He's the white guy in Half Baked. Jim Brewer was telling a story um about the demonic shit that he's seen while he was in Hollywood, and he was at SNL. And what he was saying when he was talking about it, wasn't so much demonic as in, the devil and the horns and all this other stuff, but it's the way they treat people, and how people don't have a whole lot of worth for anyone else. They just lust the fame and fortune so much. He said you can't fathom what they will do to get fame and fortune. You just can't fathom that. And I'm sure that's just like our politicians. They're all one and the same. They just have that insatiable lust to be more than what they are. And I guess this is how you get to being a satanic ritual fucking cult people. I don't know. But lust is one of the deadly sins.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Well, Cat Williams had that big spill on that about people selling their souls to the devil for fame and all that in LA or Hollywood.
Well, and going through some of this stuff, and I never really realized. I mean, I've seen Babylon. I've seen like sketches of it. I didn't really understand exactly what Babylon was, and I never really drew the ties between Hollywood Babylon, which they would call Hollywood back in the early days, and the biblical Babylon. And now that I'm starting to see some of that stuff, it's like, I don't. Maybe this was all in front of our eyes for a long time, and we were just blind.
Right.
I don't know.